Even if you are not ready for the day, it cannot always be night.
Sir, flex I do work. Work 6 of 'em like Mike. He's out of sight. Whoa, they got me pipe. You man like Ike. 6 out the spot.
Into the night.
Yeah, I'm shaking the drop. I'm still up on top. I've been at the bop. The devil my op. Can't pay me to stop. My God at the top. We gon' praise our way out the grave, dog. Living, speaking, praise God. Walking out the graveyard, back to life. I serve you. Follow your word. See with new sight.
Into the night.
Hello, one viewer, whoever you are. I'm trying to get you to identify yourself because I want to make sure that this is not some shadow banner. Okay, I gotta protect my channel here. So if there's something that I can, address to this individual person, I'd be willing to do that. If you have something against my material, I don't know what it is, but I'd like to know. Comments. Nobody is apparently viewing. I know one person is viewing. I'd like to know who that is, so I'm not trying to be like an ass or whatever. I just suspect that, someone is monitoring my channel, so I don't like that. Obviously, nobody would, but we're doing 2 Samuel chapter 21 through the end. So like 1, 2, 3, 4 chapters, and we'll do a post audio reading commentary. So after the audio reading of all of the chapters, we're going to open the floor. Anybody can come in, say whatever. And so I'm going to talk about a brief summary of these chapters. So I'll share my screen and we'll get started. And whoever's viewing right now, I'd like you to put something in the comment section just so that I know that you're not somebody like some YouTube monitor, that's trying to basically, monitor what's going on my channel. If that's what you're doing, just delete me, okay? So I can open up a fresh account where you're not there any longer. That'd be great. Delete. Come on. Take all my material and remove it so that I can start again. I'm just do one or the other, okay? Because I got bills and shit. So anyways, whoever you are viewing right now, please identify yourself in the comment section. Let's get started. 1 minute.
Hello, party people.
Tiger, what are you doing?
Nothing, bro. Just getting home. What's up with you?
For some reason, I muted the mic. I don't know why I did that.
Oh, you don't share the audio when you share the video?
Yeah, I usually do. For some reason, I muted. I'm going back to it now. Got a couple of chapters left. Might as well just let it play through. If people can fast forward if they want. Okay. There's like this. Hold on a second, though. Before I do that. So, bro,
tomorrow, bro.
There's somebody viewing this channel. I don't know who it is. I keep trying to get them to like say something, but they won't. I don't like it.
What?
Somebody's, no matter what time of day, basically it is, somebody is viewing my channel. It's just one person though. Like right now, for instance.
Huh. It's probably me now. But it's okay, bro. Don't let it get to you. It's probably the CIA, FBI, them people, the the Russian people or whatever. Who knows, bro?
Maybe.
Who knows? Don't let it get to you, bro.
All right, then.
What do you want to talk about tomorrow?
Oh, I got another textbook review for tomorrow. Be the third one.
Textbook.
It's like
a what?
I don't know. It's like second, third grade life science.
All right. Should be interesting.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna share the screen again and then play through the rest of this Bible reading.
Still no audio, bro.
What?
Yeah, there's no audio, bro. I don't hear.
Saying there's no audio.
Do you hear it on your end?
Huh.
Did you click the little share audio tab when you share the video?
By now you hear.
No, I don't hear anything, bro. You've been hacked. I mean, I hear you, but I don't hear anything. And it's only your channel. Other people live, I can hear them fine.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Let's see what to do then.
You could hear it. You could hear it when you hit play, because that is weird. Because do you have headphones plugged in? Oh no, you wouldn't have
No.
that. Yeah, because usually the way you share is just let the computer play, and then just your microphone picks up the audio. So I don't know why it's not picking up the audio. If you could hear it on your end.
Probably it did say there was something wrong with the audio, but it's not my audio to speak through. It must be talking about this second outlet for audio or whatever it is. So it doesn't matter. I got a Bible right here. I can read it myself. Damn it. All right. Then we're restarting this. This is stupid. Computers. I swear sometimes smartphones work better than computers.
Yeah.
Because I can do like the same stuff that I do on a computer, I do on my phone, and I guarantee you it's twice as fast, including starting it up. Like, what is that all about? It's because, like, I think technology works better when everything is like concentrated, kind of like a human brain. It's like more electrical connections, literally, than the entire planet. So when they're all condensed, for some reason, it works better because it's like a coil concept. The tighter it gets, the stronger the electrical current. So that's my theory on that. I think the fucking things are just too damn big to put it as blunt as you can possibly put it.
Yeah.
They need to get little miniature laptops,
Yeah. Some of them don't have enough RAM or whatever. The phones have a lot of RAM a lot of times. I got a brand new laptop, but it was cheap, like $300. And then this one's old. The S doesn't work, but it's so much better, and it's just a better laptop all around. So sometimes you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
I still use my old laptop. It's still ticking, bro.
Well, I'll give a chapter 21 and 22. It's like it was muted the whole time. So you, I don't know, I guess you could read it. God blesses the land for the burial of Saul, says that he was entreated for the land after David had taken the bones of Saul, the king, and Jonathan and buried him. It wasn't until that happened that God was entreated, which is another confirmation that Saul and Jonathan, as wicked as Saul was, he was still saved. That's what I believe. So what do you think? Do you have an opinion on that, Iger? Because some people think Saul wasn't saved, like he went to hell.
Well, I think a lot of these things are for us to decide. It's gonna be we forgot to look into his heart, soul, mind when he gets into his judgment day. So
then in the same chapter, you have remaining giants that are slain. Now, this is like, if you wanted to put a timeline on it, as far as like megalithic structures being constructed, if they were built by giants, it would be like 1,500 BC minimum, maybe even go even further than that, like 4,000, maybe 3,500 years ago. That would be around the time when you would have had entire civilizations like that had several giants in them, and then that's going to dwindle down as you get closer to David's time. And by that time, it's just going to be a few here and there. And then David killed them all. So they're gone now. At least in that area, they were gone. And then chapter 22, you have the wrath of God that's prophesied by David. So there's a lot of talk about God coming in the dark clouds, gloominess, and then he says this phrase, according to the cleanness of my hands, talking about how he did what was right as a king, or at least he tried as best as he could, and his heart was right with God the whole time. He never departed from God to serve like false gods, idols, and he had the right plan of salvation according to the knowledge of the Old Testament. Just putting Christ in the future instead of behind you in the past is really the only difference. So, his seed that would come. This is David saying that he was pure in his heart, and also his hands were clean, saying that he's saved. His sins are forgiven, and then he did what he could with what he had to serve God to the best of his abilities, and that's why God blessed him. You got to be saved, and you got to not half-ass it. And if you do those things, God will actually come through, and he'll bless you not only in the afterlife, but in this life. Now we're all caught up. You want to say anything, Iger? Did you mention the giants? So I know you have knowledge on that. It's like, do you think that the giants all died out at like maybe even 1,000 years ago, or do you think it's like a lot farther back, like BC times? Or do you think that there could still be some giants? Obviously, there's like Andre the Giant, but he's
Right.
dead. But
Yeah, but there's still, a couple people you would consider giants. The apes will say they got some genetic disease called giantism, and as a young Earth creationist, I would say they have giant gene in their bloodline. So I still think there's some giants here and there, and we've seen some pretty tall people, like even I'll play basketball, and you're saying antlers, things like that. But yeah, for those then like the pre-flood giants where they were like huge, man, they were huge.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Pretty tall. I mean, at least you look at like a semi truck, for instance, and that's like you're looking up at that thing. Imagine a human being that was that tall, walking up on you. It would literally feel like a semi, You get the full mass of the human body, and it's just like the hands and the head. It's just whatever voice is coming out.
How big was Goliath?
What do you say?
How big was Goliath? You remember? He was pretty big. He was pretty big. I forget.
Like 9 foot.
9 foot.
We know they were a lot bigger than that, but the ones that are recorded here in 2 Samuel, they're like, and also Chronicles, they're more like 9 foot. But we know they used to get like a lot taller. The biblical measurements don't really go beyond 9 foot. Like I can't think of a case where it does, unless you go to the Book of Enoch. But just in a Bible, right, you're not going to find really any taller than 9 feet as far as.
Yeah, and this is post flood. I mean, like these smaller giants, they're more the post flood giants, not the pre flood giants.
Mm-hmm.
That's a debate for another day. I think I don't have enough.
Well, I think that they really did continue to grow to great heights up until like shortly after the flood. There was like a lot of them around after the Tower of Babel and the dispersion, and then they rapidly probably dwindled down after that. So I don't know. I really just put it like 1,000 years after the flood, and then you have like some sort of a genetic, like everything, not only genetics, but like the environment itself. The ice caps are catastrophically melting, and all that's going on at that time. That's probably an ideal situation to reduce the height of the giants. Then you'd still have giants in the genes. You still have those giant genes, so you still get 8 or 9 feet tall. But that creates huge problems now. People dying because they can't stop growing. Like shit, my heart's just not gonna stop growing. So the doctor has said that I will die as a result.
All is human. Let's see.
That sucks.
Remember, I went to Ripley's Believe It or Not one time. They had a dude there that was pretty good. Oh yeah, that's the guy, Robert Pershing Waldron, 1918. 8 feet 11 inches. So even up to 1918, we had a guy that was almost 9 feet tall, 8 feet 11 inches. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
They're pretty much eradicated now. So like the timeline. Here we are, David. Saul's dead. He's, the situation is gonna shift now. So hold on a minute. It's gonna kind of go from Saul to David. He's gonna begin to possess the kingdom. I got to get caught up on where we are because I haven't did this in a while. So yeah. Yeah, we're transitioning from Saul to David. David's buried the bones of Saul. God's will bless the land. David has prophesied, of his seed's going to be the Messiah. There's going to be an afterlife. There's going to be the wrath of God. And then, all that. So chapter 23, these be the last words of David, the son of Jesse, the man who is raised up on high, the anointed of the God of Jacob, the sweet psalmist of Israel, said, the Spirit of the Lord spake by me, and his word was in my tongue. The God of Israel said, he, the rock of Israel, spake to me. He that ruleth over men must be just, ruling in the fear of God. He shall be as the light of the morning when the sun riseth, even a morning without clouds. As the tender grass springing out of the earth by a clear shining after rain, although my house be not so with God, yet he hath made with me an everlasting covenant, ordered in all things, and sure, for this is all my salvation and all my desire, although he make it not to grow. But the sons of Belial shall be all of them as thorns thrust away, because they cannot be taken with hands. But the man that shall touch them must be fenced with iron and the staff of a spear, and they shall be utterly burned with fire in the same place. Oh my God. That is just a horrifying verse right there. If you're one of these sons of Belial that hate God, I can't say bless you, because you're no longer a child of God, nor do you have the opportunity. But don't do that. If you have not decided to hate the Lord Jesus Christ yet, don't do that. Okay, love him, receive the gospel, believe Jesus and his resurrection, so that you don't become one of these sons of Belial, because that is the byproduct of rejecting the gospel over and over and over, year after year after year. That's the product, okay? There is a maturation of God hatred, and eventually it reaches its full potential, and God wrecks your mind, okay? That's how psychopaths are born. God-hating individuals that shouldn't even be alive, The government should have snuffed them out long ago, but they aren't doing their job, so that's not God's fault. But God is not going to be just if he doesn't give this person what they want, which is to never be able to retain the knowledge of God again in their mind. According to Romans chapter 1, God gave them up. He gave them up. He gave them over 3 times to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. But we won't get into that, so that the monitor watching this channel does not strike me, even though I wish he would. Or whoever you are. I don't know who you are. The sons of Belial shall all of them be as thorns thrust away, because they cannot be taken with hands. This means that you don't even get near that person. They're like a thorn, okay? If you touch it, you will be pricked. That's what God is comparing these people to, these pedophiles, these crazy individuals, okay, that are on death row for many, many, many murders, okay? We're not just like, oh, well, this one person pissed me off. I accidentally, punched him too hard and he died. No. This is somebody that went out and intentionally killed a person, and then another person, and then a pattern started to develop. He killed another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. Just keeps going. That's never going to stop, even though they think they can fix it. Psychologists or whatever, they're out of their mind. It can't be fixed. It's a medical condition called psychopathy. The man that shall touch them must be fenced with an iron and a staff of a spear. Okay, so if you're going to approach one of these people and actually touch them, you better have like a fence around you made of iron, and you better have a spear to stab him if he tries to get too close. That's what the Bible is saying. Sons of Belial. They're called dogs in the Bible. They're called, what else are they called? Reprobates. There is another term all right now, but anyways, there's how God feels about people who hate him. These be the names of the mighty men who David had: the Tachmonite that sat in the seat, chief among the captains. The same was Adino the Eznite. He lifted up his spear against 800, whom he slew at one time. One guy with a damn spear kills 800 people. I mean, this is like Samson against like several hundred Philistines. He's just got like a piece of a bone in his hand, and he's just ripping them apart. Okay, sending them straight to hell. So this is awesome. If you're like the person that did this, Adino the Eznite, everybody knows him, because he single-handedly killed 800 people. I'm sure that this guy had a pretty huge reputation. And the Bible, or God, in his word, he wants us to have reputations. He wants us to work hard and achieve great things so that he can get the glory on the path. Okay, he takes you, okay, me, someone like me, trash basically, and shines the light on it. Everybody thinks it's great, okay, but it's ultimately just trying to reflect back onto God, because we're just doing what we can, trying to be like an example. We're not anywhere close though, so it's that's the complexing thing about this situation. Like God is using something that is totally worthless and undeserving of his love. So if there was any reason at all to choose today to serve the Lord, it would be because of that. You don't have to do anything. Like you have to acknowledge that true love is being there, present with somebody in a time and in a situation when they did not deserve anyone in their life. That's Jesus Christ. So why don't you make the right decision and don't hate God, but love him, and he will use you in a great way, just like he uses badass to kill 800 people with a sword. Verse 9. After him was Eleazar, the son of Dodo, the Ahohite, one of the three mighty men with David when they defied the Philistines that were gathered together to battle, and the men of Israel were gone away. He arose and smote the Philistines until his hand was weary, and his hand clave into the sword, and the Lord wrought a great victory that day. And the people returned after him only to spoil. This guy has killed so many people with one weapon that his hands, it's like a arthritis condition or something. They've just they're just kind of glued, stuck in that situation. They're just stuck, clasping onto the sword. To take the sword out of his hands, it's he's gonna have to stretch them dudes to get him back to normal, because he killed a lot of people, and those people were fighting against God's people. Whether you're a God hater or you're just somebody that's in a bad situation, maybe, you're fighting against God's people. So if you're not saying a prayer, of some sort, it's a good chance that you're going to die. So never fight against God's people. Just don't do it. You see a group of, like a Baptist church, it's on fire for the Lord. They're soul winning. They're preaching the right gospel. They have the right doctrine. They have. Why would you blow their building up? I don't know why you would do that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And Pastor Bruce Mejia, First Works Baptist Church, they literally blew the building up, and then they have to move locations. Don't do that, okay? Because that's not going to work out. It's just going to make them more popular. So totally disarm whatever weapons you're fighting against them with, like a bomb, okay? That's just diffused immediately because you just brought the attention of the media to First Works Baptist Church. And that's not something that you want to do. So why are you standing outside of the building with picket signs? Like, hey, look at me. Look at what's behind me. That's what you're doing. You're like a natural advertisement, okay? Like a human billboard out there, swinging around your sign. Dumb. Not accomplishing anything. I don't know why I got off on that. But anyways. Verse 11, after him was Shammah, the son of Agi, the Hararite, and the Philistines were gathered together into a troop, where was a piece of ground full of lentils, and the people fled from the Philistines. And he stood in the midst of the ground and defended it, and slew the Philistines, and the Lord wrought a great victory. 3 of the 30 chief went down and came to David in the harvest time unto the cave of Adullam, and the troop of the Philistines pitched in the valley of Rephaim. David was then in hold and garrison of the Philistines, then in Bethlehem. David longed and said, "Oh, that one would give me a drink of the water of the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate." And the 3 mighty men broke through the host of the Philistines and drew water of the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate, and took it and brought it to David. Nevertheless, he would not drink thereof, but poured it out unto the Lord, and said, "Be it far from me, O Lord, that I should do this. Is not this the blood of the men that went in jeopardy of their lives? Therefore he would not drink it. These things did these 3 mighty men." Just to give David a drink of water, they're going out there and risking their lives. It's like he just started out like, "Hey, I'm thirsty, man. There's got to be a way that we can find some water, right?" And they're like, "Hey, well, if we can find some water, even if it's just enough for the king, we're going to go find a way to do it." And they did. And they came back with it, and he wouldn't drink it because he felt bad about it, that they had risked their lives. David was a great man. Some other king would have been like, "Oh, yeah, thanks, guys," and drunk. David's just making a point here.
Hey, bro, I got to go inside, man. I'm gonna be listening in, though. But
Right,
let me know what time tomorrow.
Yeah, about
1:30 or
yeah,
so.
like 12. Yeah, 12:45.
Okay, sounds good, bro. I'll catch you tomorrow for sure. I'm gonna go get ready for bed, I think.
All right, night, Agger.
Night, man. I'll see you tomorrow, brother.
All right, later. Abishai, the brother of Joab, the son of Zeruiah, I don't know how to pronounce that, was chief among 3, and he lifted up a spear against 300 and slew them, and had the name among 3. So this guy slew 300 with a spear. Was he not most honorable of the 3? Therefore he was their captain, howbeit he attained not unto the first 3. Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, the son of a valiant man of Kabzeel, who had done many acts, he slew 2 lion-like men of Moab. He went down also and slew a lion in the midst of a pit in time of snow. So 2 lion-like men of Moab. That's strange that it would say lion-like, because it was just talking about giants, so why wouldn't it just say that they were a giant? And then it says that he slew a literal lion in the snow. It was like a strange. But lion-like men, so 2 giants he slew. Not necessarily giants, just lion-like men, really strong and bulky. I guess they were bodybuilders back then. Maybe that's why he's saying that they were lion-like, absolutely enormous human beings. And then he slew an actual lion in the midst of a pit in the time of snow. It's like out there in the snow, a lion comes up and he rips it to pieces. And that's not even physically possible, at least you wouldn't think, but apparently it is. That's more likely that God was with this individual, and supernaturally granted him the dominion over that animal, which in a normal situation, no matter how strong or lion like you are, you would lose that battle in a heartbeat. One clip of that lion's nail is just gonna, it's over with. So David has some fantastic warriors that are fighting for him, and that's why the kingdom develops to, such a great stature. Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, verse 20, the son of a valiant man. All right, we just read that one. Verse 21, he slew an Egyptian, a goodly man, and the Egyptian had a spear in his hand, but he went down to him with a staff and plucked the spear to the Egyptian's hand and slew him with his own spear. These things did Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, and had the name among 3 mighty men. He was more honorable than the 30, but he attained not to the first 3, and David set him over his guard. Asahel, the brother of Job, was one of the 30. Elhanan, the son of Dodo of Bethlehem. Shema, the Harodite. Elika, the Harodite. Helez, the Paltite. Ira, the son of Akesh, the Tekoite. Abiezer, the Anathothite. Mabunai, Hashathite. Zalman, the Ahohite. Mahariah, Nadathite. Caleb, the son of Bana. Nadathite, Eta. These names are getting butchered by me, so you'll have to forgive me. Ittai, the son of Ribah, out of Gibeah, the children of Benjamin, or Benaiah, the Pirathonite, Hedai, the brooks of Gash, and Abi Albon, the Arbathite, Asmatheth, the Barhumite, Eliabah, the Shalbanite of the sons of Jashin, Jonathan, Shema, the Hararite, Ahiam, the son of Sharar, the Hararite, Eliphalet, the son of Ahashaba, the son of Machathite, Eliam, the son of Ahithophel, the Gilonite, Hezra the Carmelite, Parai the Arbite, Igul, the son of Nathan of Zobah, Bani the Gadite, Zalek the Ammonite, Naharai the Berathite, armor bearer to Joab, the son of Zariah, Ira and Ethrite, Garib and Ithrite, Uriah the Hittite, 37 in all. And so David had 37 very mighty men. Chapter 24. Again, the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he moved David against them to say, go number Israel and Judah. For the king said to Joab, the captain of the host, which was with him, go now through all the tribes of Israel from Dan even to Beersheba, and number ye the people, that I may know the number of the people. And Joab said unto the king, now the Lord thy God add unto thy people how many soever they be, 100-fold, and that the eyes of my lord the king may see it. But why doth my lord the king delight in that saying? Notwithstanding the king's word prevailed against Joab and against the captains of the host, and Joab the captains of the host went out from the presence of the king to number the people of Israel, and they passed over Jordan and pitched an aurora on the right side of the city, lieth in the midst of the river Jad and toward Jazer. Then they came to Gilead, to the land of the Tatim Hodshai, and they came to Dijon and about to Zidon, and came to the stronghold of Tyre and all the cities of the Hivites and to the Canaanites, and they went out to the south of Judah, even to Beersheba. So when they had gone through all the land, they came to Jerusalem at the end of 9 months and 20 days. And Job gave the sum of the number of the people unto the king, and there were in Israel 800,000 valiant men that drew the sword, and the men of Judah were 500,000 men. And David's heart smote him after that he had numbered the people. And David said unto the Lord, I have sinned greatly, and that I have done, and now I beseech thee, O Lord, take away the iniquity of thy servant, for I have done very foolishly. So when David was up in the morning, the word of the Lord came to the prophet Gad, David the seer, saying, Go and say unto David, Thus saith the Lord, I offer thee 3 things, and choose thee one of them, that I may do it unto thee. So Gad came to David, and told him, and said unto him, Shall 7 years of famine come to thee in thy land, or wilt thou flee 3 months before thine enemies while they pursue thee, or that there be 3 days pestilence in the land? Now advise and see what answer I shall return to him that sent me. So is this like a ego thing of David? Is that why he's getting punished for numbering their people? Or could it be that somehow it's related to the Mosaic law, where I believe that there's a law in there that says if when you number the people, they all have to basically give their tithes at that time. So with this, he's getting like 10% of the income of all these families. That could be like a connection there too. But either way, he's defying the Lord, and he's going to have to choose now which one of these happens. Verse 14, David said unto Gad, I am in a great strait. Gad, that would be the prophet, which is presenting him these options from the Lord. Let us fall now into the hand of the Lord, for his mercies are great, and let me not fall into the hand of man. So the Lord sent a pestilence upon Israel from the morning even to the time appointed, and there died the people from Dan even to Beersheba, 70,000 men. And when the angel stretched out his hand upon Jerusalem to destroy it, the Lord repented him of the evil, and said to the angel that destroyed the people, It is enough. Stay now thine hand. And the angel of the Lord was by the threshing place of Araunah the Jebusite. And David spake unto the Lord when he saw the angel that smote the people, and said, Lo, I have sinned, I have done wickedly. But these sheep, what have they done? Let thine hand, I pray thee, be against me and against my father's house. And Gad came that day to David, and said unto him, Go up, rear an altar unto the Lord in the threshing floor of Araunah the Jebusite. And David, according to the saying of God, went up, or the saying of Gad, went up as the Lord commanded. And Araunah looked and saw the king and his servants coming toward him. And Araunah went out and bowed himself before the king on his face upon the ground. Araunah said, Wherefore is my lord the king come to his servant? And David said, To buy the threshing floor of thee, to build an altar unto the Lord, that the plague may be stayed from the people. So he's going to build an altar unto the Lord in the exact location, basically, where this angel was standing. And so God had placed an angel in this certain location with a sword stretched out. Now it says a similar situation with the Garden of Eden, where he placed flaming cherubims to guard and protect the Garden of Eden on the north, west, east, and south, I believe, or at least 2 of them, one end and the other end, to surround either the Garden of Eden, which I believe that's what it was, or just the tree of life, so that nobody could get access to it. But it says that Adam and Eve were kicked out of the garden. So we know that there were angels placed there with flaming swords, and this is the same situation. There is an angelic being, if you will, a heavenly creature is what a cherubim is. An angel is like a image of a man, okay, but it's not a human. It just has like the image with the robe and everything, but it has a sword. It's standing in a location, the sword is stretched out, and this is how God brings, evil supernatural curses on place. He just sends his angel, they stick their sword out, and then it happens. Okay, it was beginning. We don't really understand the specific details of the nature in this situation. So we don't know the details. We do know this is God's method of protecting, or like supernaturally bringing some kind of a blessing or curse on a land, is to send his angel there to do it for him. So David spake unto the Lord, or we went past that. So he's going to build an altar there in that location, and he has to speak to this guy, Araunah, who's the guy who owns the property where the angel was standing, so that he can build the altar. Araunah said unto David, Let my lord the king take and offer up what seemeth good unto him. Behold, here be oxen for a burnt sacrifice, and threshing instruments of and other instruments of the oxen for wood. All these things did Araunah as a king give unto the king. And Araunah said unto the king, The Lord thy God accept thee. And the king said unto Araunah, Nay, but I will surely buy it of thee at a price. Neither will I offer burnt offerings unto the Lord my God of that which doth cost me nothing. So David bought the threshing floor and the oxen for 50 shekels of silver. And David built there an altar unto the Lord, and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings. So the Lord was entreated for the land, and the plague was stayed from Israel. So God had mercy. It was he was just this angel was destroying so much stuff. Not that it's physically going out and taking the sword and dashing people. It just needs to stand in one place and then kind of hold it in one direction or the other, and stuff starts happening. Okay, again, we don't know the detailed nature of like who does it strike first, or how many does it start out with, how many people start dying and why. Like we don't know who's being selected or at what time or how many people or none of that. We just know this angel spreads his sword over a certain location, and then they start to die very quickly. So this is the Lord, after David builds an altar there and he offers these offerings. Again, the Lord is entreated, so he's going to back off of his curses, and he's going to start blessing again. He's going to remove the angel from the area, and then everything's going to be okay, and all is forgiven at that point because David is now paid for his crimes. So things get worse for David, though. He commits more sins, but God doesn't even mention this one, and that's because he had already paid for it, and asking, wanting to know the number of the people for whatever reason that it was that he wanted to know that number, that wasn't worthy of death, right? So when God talks about Israel, or when he talks about David, rather, he talks about him as someone who had not committed any major crimes against him. And then he says, except for, the Bathsheba event, in the case where David committed adultery with this girl, Bathsheba. He already had like multiple wives. He, out of wedlock, went to another woman, and fornicated with her. So that's actually action worthy of death in the Old Testament. So that's why God, kind of holds that to David's account, but he doesn't hold anything else to David's account because there were no other major crimes committed. And if you've committed a major crime against God in your life, something that's like worthy of death in the Old Testament, that's okay. Once God punishes you for that, if you didn't end up dead as a result, you can still serve God, and he's not going to bring it up again necessarily. It's definitely not going to be held against you like as far as your eternity. You're once saved, always saved, and then once you get saved, you're eternally secure. Let me check the chat. Oh, looks like our number one viewer has actually left. So they stuck around for a while and then they bounced, I guess. I'd really like to know who that is. But thank you for tuning in. Stay in prayer. God bless America. Peace be upon you. I'm out.